Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing 3 looks and a review of the new Glamlite Cake palette. I was so excited about this one just because I think it is absolutely adorable and I loved the variety of shimmers that were available in this color scheme. I just thought they were stunning. It pulled me right in, so I decided to purchase it and I'm excited to give you guys my thoughts today. I feel like I don't have that much to say, so let's just go ahead and jump right on in. This retails for $40. I do have an affiliate code with Glamlite in case you want to save, I believe 15% off. You can use my code AMYLOVES. I do make a small commission, just to let you know. I feel like the presentation and packaging on this palette makes it the most perfect gift for a makeup lover, someone who likes colorful shades, or someone who loves baking and cakes, because, I mean, obviously it is shaped like a cake, but it also comes in an oven, which, I mean, is the cutest thing ever. You can see how it fits perfectly. It is really adorable, and even the back has the nutritional facts, and then it has all the ingredients. I'm gonna leave a picture on screen so you guys can see the ingredients a little bit closer. I got some comments that the ingredients of this palette are not available on the website, and that, you know, obviously is not very helpful for someone who wants to look at the ingredients. I'm going to leave it on screen and you guys can screenshot or whatever if you'd like to read that a little bit more closely. The palette also has a decent sized mirror. So jumping into the quality, I feel like the shimmers are so beautiful. It is ridiculous. I bought this palette mostly because of shimmers, if I'm being honest, and I am not disappointed at all. They are intense, sparkly, metallic, foiled shades. As you guys watch the tutorials, you're gonna probably get tired of me talking about how beautiful the shimmers are because I just kept talking about it because they are stunning. I really cannot wait to do a look with carrot all over the lid because I haven't done that yet. But just in general, like you guys can see, I'm not like trying to pick up a ton of product or anything, but they are super foiled, sparkly, magical shadows, and I just love that so much. I feel like when I get a palette and the shimmers are lackluster, I just don't feel gravitated to use it at all, and it ends up being a disappointment. But these are just stunning. Those are just little baby swatches. I barely even dipped into the pan. I did do a first impression of this palette. If you want to see live swatches of every single shade, I'll leave that down below for you because I'm not going to swatch them all again. That's a lot of shadows to swatch, but I do absolutely 100% love the metallic shades in here. I feel like blue raspberry and strawberry and blueberry a little bit, the darker shades are not quite as like intense as some of the lighter metallics, but they're still really nice nonetheless. So I am 100% happy with those. I would rate them an A+. They're amazing. I really like Glamlite shimmer formula. As for the mattes, I feel like they are good. They're not my favorite matte formula, but they definitely take a minute to blend out. I don't find any of them to be duds, but some of them are super intensely pigmented to where you put your brush in, there's kickback, you put on your eye, there's a ton of pigmentation, and then other shades like chocolate and I believe raspberry, you have to build those up a little bit more. You can really swirl your brush in, especially chocolate. I have to like really swirl my brush in order to get the pigment, whereas other shades like cranberry, I dip my brush in and it's loaded with pigment. So there is a little bit of variance in the matte formula, but like I said, none of them are duds because they all work and they'll all build up and they will blend. It's just not the fastest, easiest blend I've ever done in my life. So I like them. But like I said, the star of the show is the shimmers. I feel like the color scheme of this palette as a whole is pretty, but it's not very inspiring. It is just a rainbow palette through and through with like 3 pops of neutrals, although this Dulce de Leche, it looks more like a brown, but it does come off pretty true orange on the eye. We could honestly say just 2 pops of neutral. I think I would give it an A-, and the only like downside, like I said, is I just feel like when I go into this and when I go into the mattes, I know it's going to take a minute to blend, and if I was in a hurry and I wanted to do like a 10-minute colorful eye look, these mattes would not be the first thing I would go for. And also, just to throw this in here, I feel like all the metallic shades are really interesting colors and tones. Like the gold here, I thought was just going to be a gold, but it has a green shift. This orange has a yellow shift to it. The guava is kind of the most beautiful rose gold, and it has like yellow sparkles in it, and it kind of, I feel like you could make it more pink or you could make it more neutral. And then banana is just such an intense, true yellowy shade. Lavender is kind of a purple blue shift, so I just really appreciate the varieties. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into the looks. Alright, so for the first look, I really want to do something a little bit more neutral, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Dulce de Leche. I also already primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. I'm just going to take that shade on a fluffy little crease brush, throw it right into my crease, and start blending it out. I'm also going to go ahead and take that shade with a pencil brush along the entire lower lash line. Also grabbing a touch more of that shade with a small brush and just putting that right into my crease just to get a little bit more color out of it, because I went in with such a big fluffy brush before, it kind of diffused it more. Just gonna go back in with that previous brush and blend. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and take this deeper brown right here called Chocolate, and I'm gonna start that off on the outer V. And then once I have most of the product down, just slightly blending inwards and buffing around the edges. I'm gonna go back again with that previous brush. Again, just making sure everything is blended. I'm also going to take a touch of chocolate on the lower lash line. Alright, now for the color I'm most excited about, I'm going to go ahead and go into this shade Cinnamon right here, which looks to have a beautiful green shift to it. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and use my NYX glitter primer first, just so I don't get any fallout. Just like always, I'm picking up a little bit of that, evenly dispersing it on the lid, and then I'm going to give it a moment to get tacky. Ooh, that is so beautiful. Honestly, the texture kind of reminds me of some of my favorite shades from the Cliona Stained Glass collection. Wow. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab just a touch of this shade right here called Carrot, and I'm just popping that onto the front of the lower lash line. It's another super beautiful metallic. Alright, for my inner corner, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Luminaire from Cliona Cosmetics. I put all my inner corner shades from Terra Moons, Cliona, and Divina together to do a comparison video, so still just testing those out, making sure I have all my thoughts, but I really want to use that Cliona shade today, just because I think I'm going to use this palette every single day when I use this palette, just because there's no real inner corner shades, except for a Banana, that light yellowy shade. You could probably throw that on the inner corner if you wanted, but I prefer to go into something a little bit lighter normally. So I'm just taking that on a dense pencil brush, and I'm going to put it right there. Has a really strong pink shift to it. I don't know if it's picking up on the monitor very well. Alright, really quickly off camera, I'm going to go ahead and use the Linda Howberry Likeable Mood Pencil in my waterline, the Thrive Cosmetics Mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, for highlighter today, I'm going to go into my Lethal Cosmetics highlight in the shade Ionic, which is a really pretty, soft, kind of rosy tone. I'm also going to be using one of the new Alamar Cosmetics face brushes. This is the brightening brush. And then for lips today, I'm going to go into the H&M Cream Lipstick in the shade Sandstorm. My really good friend Lily sent me 2 of these lipsticks, and I had the one that was like more orangey reddy, super beautiful. I loved it when I tried it on, and then I could not find this shade anywhere. I've been searching for like 2 months. I finally found it. I'm so glad. It's a really pretty light, kind of more warm toned shade. I might have to add a gloss on top to go with this look, but I really am so happy I found it, so I couldn't wait to finally use it. I'm the worst. It's actually such a pretty nude, and I really love the formula of these lipsticks. I feel like they're so creamy and comfortable on the lips. I really want to go ahead and use my Dominique Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Creamer. Alright, I found it, so I'm going to go ahead and just throw this shade on the middle just to lighten it up a little bit, add some extra glossiness. Alright, so this is the finished first look with the palette, and I really love how it turned out. I feel like that shimmery shade all over the lid is so intense and glittery looking and metallic and wet. Like, it is just everything I could possibly want it to be. Like, I can't get over it. So happy with that shade. I feel like the mattes blended out pretty well for me. Also, the shade on the lower lash line, you can't see as much, but it is super beautiful, and it's kind of an orange with like this like golden peachy reflect to it. So I really like how the look turned out. I can't wait to play with it more. So let's just go ahead and jump into day 2 or look 2, whatever you want to call it. Alright y'all, so jumping into day 2, whenever I did my first impression of this palette, I mentioned how inspired I was by this little corner right here, so I thought I would go ahead and do a look with these 4 shades. I'll probably pop into the yellows here too, just because I want to give those a chance, and I think that they'll pair really well with this. I kind of have a look going on in my mind, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Icy Mint. I also did already go ahead and prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer again, so I just picked up Icy Mint on my fluffy blending brush. I'm going to start that off through the crease. Then definitely take a moment to blend that shade out. I'm really not worrying about it being too pigmented right now or going back in with any more product. I just want to blend the heck out of it until it's a really soft transition shade. And then once I've got it blended, I can go back in with some more pigment and start building it up. I don't know why I feel like this shade, something about it reminds me of like the water at the beaches in Destin, Florida. It's like the perfect color. So I pretty much have that color where I like it. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this shade here called Birthday Cake now. I'm taking that shade on a much smaller little crease brush, and I'm going to start it off on my outer V. And then just, again, start blending and then slowly building up. I feel like this is the perfect Smurf blue. Okay, so I'm definitely kind of relieved to see that I feel like those 2 colors have a good gradient on the eye. Whenever I swatched them, they looked really similar. So, definitely looking much better now. Alright, I'm going to go back into that previous brush and just slightly blend out the outer corner. I feel like it's already blended pretty well. I'm going to take just a tiny little touch of Birthday Cake. Literally, that's all I'm going to do with it, is put it on the very, like, not even like the outer third, like the outer fourth of the lower lash line, just to connect a tiny little bit. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take that bright green key lime, and I'm going to go a little bit over on the lower lash line. Just start smudging it. Try to cover up the fact that my lower lash line is stained orange, which does not go with the theme of this look. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and take the bright yellow Pineapple, and I'm going to pop that again just a little bit further over. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Banana, and I'm going to pop that onto the innermost part of the lower lash line right here. I feel like the sparkles from that shade are a little bit messy. I'm going to go ahead and wet my brush just to get more of an even application. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Blue Raspberry. And again, I think I'm going to wet it just, I feel like it picks up super pigmented, you can see on the brush, without trying that hard. But I really don't want blue fallout all over my face. Ooh. Just a super pretty cobalt blue. Alright, so for my inner corner today, I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Saturn's Rings from Terra Moons. It's kind of like a lighter yellowy to green goldy shift. Super intense. I'm going to actually use the Happy Mood on like the inner part of my waterline, and then use Calm Mood on like the outer part. I rarely am so extra as to use 2 different colors in my waterline, but I kind of want to match the vibes of what's happening. And then I'm going to use my Thrive Custom X mascara, and I'll be right back. You guys see how intense the inner corner is when I turn? Do you see that green? That shift? freaking love the Terra Moon's Iridescent Chameleon so much. Alright, for highlighter today, I'm going to go into the NABLA Skin Glazing Highlighter in the shade Ozone. I feel like I got these and I haven't been reaching for them very much. I definitely want to test this out more. It's a really pretty golden shade. Alright, lips. I don't even have a plan. I don't even know what I want to do for lips today. I think I'm going to just keep it simple and just go into my Fenty Beauty gloss in the shade Sweet Mouth. Alright y'all, so this is the finished second look and I really like how it turned out. I felt like the matte blended pretty well. The blue on the lid was nice. I feel like it's not quite as metallic as some of the other shimmers in the palette, but it does have good pigmentation and it does have like this subtle sparkliness to it that I feel like doesn't quite pick up as well if you're further away, but when you're up close you can see just the tiny little micro sparkles. I thought the lower lash line gold looked really pretty as well, and then the little extra pop on the inner corner. I know it's not in the palette, but it still adds a little extra oomph, so I really like it, especially like the skin and everything. I feel like I'm having a pretty good like makeup skin day. I just like the entire look, the glossy lips, everything. Not trying to toot my own horn, just trying to talk through the makeup. So let's go ahead and jump on into look number 3. Alright y'all, so jumping into look number 3, I want to do something a little bit more on the pinky side, but I'm trying not to go too crazy just because I'm going to do a party after this, so I'm trying not to do like pink smoky eye up to my brow bone, just, you know, pink, but like a casual pink. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Peach, and I did already prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. Alright, so I went ahead and picked up just a tiny little bit of that shade Peach, and I'm going to start that off through my crease. It's very pigmented, so I'm going to take my time to blend it out. I feel like in the pan that one looked a little bit more coral, but on my eyes it's very pink. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this pink right here called Raspberry, and I'm going to put that on the outer V. And then just lightly blend it out. Alright, now I'm going to go into a little bit of Red Velvet. And again, just popping that on my outer V, just a tiny little bit. And blending it out. I'm going to go ahead and take an eyeshadow that's close to my skin tone. This just happens to be the Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette. And a little brush. And I'm just going to blend. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Chocolate. Definitely going to really swirl my brush in there and pick up a decent amount of product. And I'm going to use that on my outer V as well, just to kind of add a little bit of a neutral color in here. I'm just going to go back in with my previous brush and just blend right over the edge. I'm also going to go ahead and use just a little bit of chocolate on the lower lash line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of this shade Cranberry, and I'm going to pop that onto the center of the lower lash line. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Strawberry, and I'm going to pop that onto the front of the lower lash line. Alright, so now for my lid, I'm going to go ahead and use this shade called Guava, which I'm super excited because it is so beautiful. I think I'm going to go ahead and use my NYX glitter primer first, just to make sure it lasts all day for me. Whew. That is so pretty. Alright, so for my inner corner, I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here called Soda Swamp from Divina Cosmetics. But again, first just going to go in with my glitter glue. Just going in with that very carefully, just trying to keep it super tight on my inner corner. Alright, so it's definitely a little bit of an intense eye look, but I do really like the way it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Appeal Gel Liner in the shade Deep Taupe for my waterline, and then I'm going to use my Thrive Cosmetics mascara, and I'll be right back. For highlighter today, I'm going to go ahead and take the Lethal Cosmetics highlight in the shade Ionic. Then for lips, I'm going to go into the Milani Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Nude Creme. I took a shower right before I started filming, and my hair's still quite a bit damp just because it takes forever to dry, so don't mind that, but this is the finished look, and I really, really love how it turned out. I feel like this is my favorite look from the palette so far. I just think all the pinks together are so, so pretty, and that shade on the lid is the most beautiful color. I feel like you could use it with that like warm neutrally brown and chocolate in the outer V and then just do the pink on the lid, and it would look more like a rose gold, but with all the pink surrounding it, it really does just look so stunning. It's such a pretty color, and again, the formula so metallic and glittery and sparkly, and just I really, really love the metallics. I'm sure I raved about them a ton in the beginning of the video. So that is everything for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.